I want to show you something, explain something to you. You know, the difference with us and animals, and the reason that we have problems in dealing with them and getting them to so-called behave is because we think that they're just creatures and they're uncivilized, so to speak. You know, we think that, oh, it's just an animal and the human being needs to teach the animal how to behave, as if nature didn't know how to raise its creatures. I mean, these creatures were created to walk through life and be brutes, to be brutal. Now, how could an animal walk through life and be brutal if it wasn't already satisfied? Everything in their life is wonderful to begin with. They don't care if they get dirty. They don't care if they tear things up. Everything is about exploration, exploring different things in life, looking for the danger so that they can know how to stay away from it and survive. See, they're constantly genetically hardwired to look for danger. And then once you find it, stay away from it. That's hard for human beings to think about and hard for them to accept, because in our life, we're trying to stay away from danger. And in the attempts of staying away from danger, we practice on our dogs by saying good girl to this and good boy to that, and everything is a mommy loves you and blah, 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 as if we are in some ways subconsciously brainwashing them to achieve what we want, and that we are living vicariously through them. When we do that, it verifies that we are good people. Man, the psychology is very deep. When nature only says what it doesn't like. Animals on the Serengeti plain are definitely looking for the danger so that they can stay away from it, because if they stay away from it, they survive. But animals that live with us, the way we think and feel and how we imprint on them, we teach them that they should be looking for the positive things in life, and that is against nature, because life is already positive. It's how you walk through it, how you see it. See, I know that Mother Nature is a serial killer. Look at the viruses, the coronavirus, what have you. It is a serial killer. It looks for a host so that it can survive. So if we teach our dogs where the danger is, they will learn to survive. If we know ourselves where that danger is, where that virus is, we will stay away from it. That's so important to understand it, to flip it in our minds, to see it from nature's concept. See, these animals could not act like this if they were not already happy. They're not in pursuit of happiness. Happiness is already existing for them. They love it. And now they're just looking for the boundaries to make sure that they stay within this concept, this happiness, this way of life. That's all they're looking for. Where is my position within this pack? Because if I'm very, very clear of where I fit in, then I survive. You're looking at survival. Animals think only hierarchy, discipline, domination, life, death, submission, dominance. That's all they think about. And everything that we teach them and do with them will be applied to this kind of mind. This kind of mind. You cannot stop this from happening. The beauty in being able to control it is to understand that this is the way nature intended them to process information. This is how they do it. So in our attempts to so-called civilize our dogs, we are altering them and altering them. You may have heard me say it's like the blade of grass that climbs up through the concrete. That's truth that makes it do that. You could not use your nails and claw through concrete, but that grass just effortlessly grows through it because that's truth. And what does the human do? We go along and we pluck it out. We alter it and alter it and alter it until pretty soon the dog has been imprinted on, and then they learn different behaviors that are separate from the ones that we didn't like to begin with, and now they've got a whole list of things that they got problems with because of us, because we don't want to accept what our part is in this creative creature. This creature was not designed to create, not like us. We have the ability to create as well as being a creator. See, this is a creation, this creature right here. And so it's bound by certain laws that the human being has the ability to think and understand. We're not captured in this bubble, so to speak. We don't have a top and a bottom. We have a bottom, but not a top. We can think and be and do whatever we want. These guys can't. They have a bottom and a top. They're captured. And so nature wired them a certain way to walk through life brutally and accept things as it is and not look at the subtleties of life. They don't have these complex emotions like us. And so if you understand this whole concept of how they're created and what they're able to do, it's just like the birds that fly south. They can't decide that this year they're not going to fly south. No, they have to do it. The human being can say, you know what, I'm not going to go south. I'm going to stay here because I like the weather or whatever reason. See, we have that ability, but they don't. And because the human being has not been taught about how nature intended this animal to process information, we get in trouble because we're expecting for them to understand why we are doing what we're doing with this mind that we were given, when they can only think like an animal, and specifically like a dog. Nature is very precise. What would make us think that nature did not know how to create its animals perfectly? Those animals on the Serengeti have been there since the beginning of time, and they will be that way when we are gone. There is no change within them unless we alter them, alter the land in which they live upon, and things like that. So in being successful with animals, especially if you're working with rehabilitation or evaluations or even training of dogs or any kind of animal, the first key is to understand what nature has given them. See, I know that each and every one of these dogs that we see here belonged to someone at some point. Never have they made me feel that they miss their owners, because they get on with the business of life, living and walking with full steps in life, not half steps. And because of that, they can explore their life. And they're moving so fast that each year is 7 years. Their lifespan is moving so quickly, they don't have time to sit back and diddle-dally about worrying about things. They just handle it. And so in our attempts to working with them and bringing them along with us and living like I live with them, which is a wonderful experience to have them this way. With me knowing this knowledge, I'm able to take this place with multiple dogs. I call it one flew over the cuckoo's nest. All these guys I consider to be 5150s. They've got some type of behavioral problem that is genetic or it has been produced by the human being. Being able to know what is nature versus nurture is the key to my success with these animals. And the success that I'm talking about is not necessarily a monetary success, but is a success of understanding. It is so much more rewarding to understand what you're looking at, then you will get happiness and peace and love and comfort and the rewards just in the understanding of how something is. Oh my gosh, to be able to soothe the savage beast through being is the most rewarding thing that I have ever experienced. We'll continue.